What's up, Pandeez?
You're listening to the Pandesoul podcast.
Join us as we unpack the flavors of being Filipino
and American. We're your hosts, Dre Magix, the fictitious professor, and EJ Villaman.
And we hope you're hungry.
Because there's plenty to go around. Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Welcome to the Pandesoul podcast. I am Dre Magix with all of us. We're your hosts for this show, fictitious professor and EJ Villaman. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that's very near and dear to our hearts. We've discussed it many times. It's the Filipino accent. So yeah, the Filipino accent, and this episode comes maybe a week after, 1 or 2 weeks after the release of Easter Sunday, which is Joe Coy's movie. If you haven't already, please go buy a ticket to watch that movie. Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket. Support Filipino representation. You know what I mean?
Buy multiple tickets.
Yeah. Anyways, so in the movie, they talk about the use of the accent, right? And because we crack a lot of jokes and we use the accent in order to deliver some of the jokes. What are your feelings on that whole argument?
Like, is it good? Is it bad?
What do you guys just think about it? Is it making fun of the culture, or like when other people use it? Like, when is the good time to use it and when is the bad time to use it? Because there definitely is a way to use it that would hurt our culture, right? Mm-hmm. So what is that version look
right
like?
The way that hurts our culture?
Yeah.
I think it's all about the audience, right? You just need to have the right timing and the right people that need to hear it. And it depends on the message that you're trying to convey.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you're talking about a story about your life and something that you've experienced and you want to add a certain level to it.
What are your thoughts on the Filipino accent? But the accent is only like the mode for connection.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, where it's, if I'm telling a story, it's just like when you're a kid and you tell a story and you want to take people there, right? You're not monotone the whole time. Mm-hmm. But when I'm telling a story to other Filipinos, that's when I get the laugh, because not of the accent, but it's recognizable.
Right. Yeah, it's a cultural link.
Yeah.
It's like understanding that.
Yeah.
It's almost like code switching in a sense, where it's like
switching.
reverse
code switch.
Yeah, because it's like switching to the accent and understanding like, oh, okay, that's sort of like the Filipino diasporic rules of engagement with language, where it's like, oh, okay, now I know it's gonna be a pun or like some word play or like.
You like move to that Venn diagram.
Yeah.
There's another Venn diagram.
You drop swung.
And then you drop
Fierce?
in the middle.
Short forward.
Short fierce.
Jean-Claude Venn diagram.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Dang.
Jump short forward. Roundhouse. That's hilarious.
So we're really sensory people, right? And like I feel like doing the accent adds a second layer of the audio, right? Because we can't have like the other senses like smell and taste. You can't bring them to.
Why? You're COVID.
Wait.
You don't smell or taste.
What happened?
COVID-19.
Okay, no, but so, real quick, using that as an example, right? I didn't need to put the accent there,
Right.
But it's, which is also might be like quite toxic, but like it's me impersonating an elder who might be judging you because you might.
Yeah.
But I guess to us that's kind of funny.
It is.
That happens. The older
it's recognizable.
Yeah.
It's like a weird trauma bond.
Yeah.
That's like
Exactly.
like nostalgia and like oddly comforting too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because even just like when I'm traveling and I hear like Tagalog or like Taglish or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a sense of like, familiarity. It's like, okay, cool.
It's like a big vapor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like hearing Taha.
I'm home. You're like, bro, this is San Jose.
I know.
What is the weirdest city that you would not want to hear someone say Tahoe in?
Oh man, anywhere in Texas.
You know where it's like? Birmingham, Alabama. Tahoe. Which brings me, white people have accents too.
Yeah, regional.
right?
There's regional.
Yeah.
Regional, but also just like, hello. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, right? And this is what I don't like about the accent. Like, ever. When it's inaccurate.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
even when Filipinos use it, like Filipino comedians, and they...
Oh, it's a bad
It's a
accent.
bad
It's like overly
impression.
done and just like
Either overly or like the melody's not right.
yeah.
It's like the accent's from Guam. Dude.
Yeah.
Guantanamera.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like I've heard accents and I'm like, oh, this tastes like fun shit, man.
Oh, dude.
I don't like. It's like if McDonald's were to try and sell pancit, right?
They do that in the Philippines.
I know, but like it's different because it's Filipinos there,
Right.
That's
right?
true.
But it's like, oh, good try, which is like another thing I said earlier, but I'm not gonna say on stream because go support Filipino representation, everybody. Buy
Yes.
many tickets.
Max.
Yeah, so this is kind of bringing up the Dave Chappelle thing, right? You know why?
Right.
Do you know why he left
Just,
Chappelle show?
For our viewers who don't know.
Yes,
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
for the viewers. No, you're good at.
You're good at.
You're great at.
You're the
You
storyteller.
have a laptop. Okay.
You have the notes.
It's okay. You have a French fries.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I have orange. No
You
more
had one.
orange.
Just, you found it. The one spot.
Aren't you glad?
Aren't you glad? So, for those of you who do not know, Dave Chappelle had a TV show for a few years, right? 2 or 3 years. And it was great. It was doing so good in the ratings. It was testing well with the black community as well as the white community. In that show, it was very controversial because he would be dropping the N-bomb a lot. And if you don't know what the N-bomb is, EJ will demonstrate.
No.
Nilaga. But yeah, so they would be dropping the N-bomb a lot, but it was still testing well with the white community.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing was Dave Chappelle left suddenly, right? He broke his contract with, I believe it was Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm.
He left loads of money on the table. A lot of the cast was left, unemployed because that was their only job at the time.
Right.
But the reason Dave Chappelle did that was because he didn't know if the white people were laughing at the joke or because they like laughing at the N-bomb part,
Right.
like the derogatory term. And to him, his comedic integrity was, I'm not going to let them laugh at this part because this is not where I wanted my comedy to go.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So this, if you were to get cast in a movie and they wanted you to do the accent in a role that clearly did not need the accent, would you do it?
I think it would depend if it was like if the role overall was like supposed to be like the comedic relief. But if it was more of just like for example,
You're a side character.
like a side character. Just like
NPC.
yeah.
Yeah, you're the NPC nurse.
You just have one line.
NPC nurse.
Yeah.
See that's a little different though. If you're saying NPC nurse,
Okay.
Yeah.
because in our community or just anywhere, nurses are like the number one. Like Filipinos are
Okay.
Yeah.
most common.
Yeah, that's like super underrepresented in all of like medical TV shows.
Right.
Like there's
Yeah.
no
Okay,
Filipino
but,
medical
what
staff.
if you're the doctor character? Would you use the accent?
Oh, like a second generation Filipino actor. Yeah, I'd be a second generation doctor.
Yeah, but would you use the accent?
Yeah, like a second generation accent,
Like an American accent?
like what I have right now.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
We're talking about the accent. Because it's like you can make a strong argument for that also. Like
Yeah,
there's
because that's
no-
what what's his name did for Star Wars. He used like a slight Mexican accent for like represent. You know what I'm talking about? The newer Star Wars
Pedro
movies?
Pascal
Yeah,
or Andor. Oh,
I think it was he had like a
Mandalorian.
Yeah, and same thing with not in the Mandalorian. I don't think he really had
the
an accent.
car from Back to the Future.
Oh no.
But yeah,
It's Mongolian.
Mongolian. That's what I was in school.
but like I remember his reasoning is that he's the accent because like it didn't even really matter in that case, but it's just so that
So people
America has more of a familiarity of that accent being in a leading role.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but he did it more of
Because
like,
his dad asked about like why did you do the accent? And like,
Yeah.
there was like a interview that I saw.
But he
years
wasn't
ago.
a comedic relief, though.
Right.
Like if you're doing an accent for not comedic relief and for pure representation, I feel like that'd be amazing. Like that'd be cool. You could like start to hear, people. Well, people will finally hear
But
like
thick. Like thick.
it would really have to depend on the
Steak.
Well, because that's it's also like a like regional too. So it's like for example, with like British accents, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like the more like dignified ones, and then there's like the Cockney accent that's like really thick, and like has its own intricacies and like its own slang and own idioms. So then it's like, if it's done like that, cool. So then if it's the similar situation, but like Filipino, to somebody who's straight from like the bundok or from who's like grew up in the streets of Manila, and then an appropriate accent that would reflect that character, I think it would be.
Okay, so let me paint this picture then. You are an ice cream truck owner, and the director wants you to play it like a taho salesman, but you're driving an ice cream truck, and it's a Filipino. It's Pandeez. It's our show.
Yeah.
It's our sitcom. And we're like, you have to do the accent. Here are the jokes with it. Like, you're just basically telling all the kids to shut up. You're really mean. But you're doing it in an accent, so it's
Right.
lighter. And it gives you permission to be mean to kids. Would you do that role? If the showrunners looked like us.
If the showrunners look like us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the showrunners are Filipino or FilAm, would you do the accent?
were the writers and producers?
The whole team is
Okay.
Yeah,
FilAm.
I think it'd be okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same role.
yeah,
Showrunners and crew are white.
different.
It's very
It's very
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, did you guys ever watch Kim's Convenience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like I remember hearing about because they had like writers switch, so there was like some more like Korean aware and some that were less. So it's like, did you guys watch like all the way through?
I'm not done with the 5th season.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, it's the last one.
I've seen them all.
Well, like basically, Oma gets sick.
Yeah.
But then that sickness that she has is like it's like 4% of Korean women ever get that disease. It's a very like rare for that
Okay.
community. And so she was the actor who played Oma was like pissed because it's like there should have been more like awareness, more writing. So then it's like if the character's well written and same thing with the actors who played Oppa and Oma, like using a Korean accent.
And those accents are thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those accents are mad thick.
Because it's like, they're the folks who actually emigrated from
Yeah.
Korea in the show, so it's like therefore their accent has to
I
reflect that.
like roles like that though. I think Oma and Oppa were done really well on that show because there was it wasn't development. There was so much heart in their character.
Right.
They had so much like more meat.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just accent.
Yeah.
It showed they were real human
Yeah.
people. And I think that is a good representation, even if you're going to use a super thick accent,
Yeah.
right? And I'm basically just getting ideas for when we do our sitcom.
Right. Yeah, because it's like if they had more of like a Canadian accent, it wouldn't have the show wouldn't have been as realistic because obviously it's like they're the ones that immigrated from Korea. So then it's like including like the mannerisms and like the inflections. Like I grew up with like a whole bunch of Koreans. So it's like, oh, this is like my Korean friend's parents, or just like going to like I grew up doing taekwondo. So it's like all the instructors are like Korean. So it's like a familiarity in that sense for me.
How do you feel about that mode of connection, right? Because we were talking about, oh, we're using the accent as a mode of connection, right? How do you feel when people go, oh, my mom's friend is Korean, or like, oh, my nurse, or putting it in our shoes,
Right.
oh, you're Filipino? Dude, my nurse was Filipino when I got sick with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
How do you take that?
See, I don't take that in any bad light, to
Okay.
be quite honest.
Yeah.
Growing up in a very, very white community. I think it was
Did you
like...
do it to them? Oh my god, all my friends are white. Hot dog?
The bar that I went
Hot dog
to.
sandwich.
The security guy was...
Oh, you like baseball, huh?
Actually.
Here's-
Yeah, check out
all
this...
the Filipino, dude, all the Filipinos in the OC are Angels fans.
Yeah.
All except one. And you know who you are.
Oh, who is that?
Not me.
One person.
don't watch
Who
baseball.
lives where I live. But does not
Okay.
He's
Anyway.
your batchmate?
Batch 89.
You're a flatline?
But yeah, I don't find any problem with it because I feel like it's like everyone wants to feel a sense of connection, right? Or ideally, you feel like everyone wants to feel a sense of connection. If that's what other people feel like is their step in the door to connect with you by like breaking the ice of saying, "Oh yeah, my blah 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 was Filipino," then yeah, but that's your only
Right.
your only like
It's
chance.
so
I feel like there's one caveat. If it's
There's-
if it's a middle-aged white man who's like, oh, my wife is from
See
Philippines,
that?
then that's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but that's one that you've
Ooh.
heard of so many times.
Yeah,
But like,
cringe.
there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of people who are just like genuinely like curious and
Right.
like genuinely interested in trying to have a conversation.
Genuinely by curious?
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that either.
It's not, but all of them?
Hey, you never know. I don't know. That's because like if I go in like a bad light and thinking that everyone's after me or everyone's trying to appropriate
Yeah,
me,
there's no way to live your life.
yeah,
right?
then like my energy is just like, ugh.
Right.
But like, if they say that and like just talk around it a little bit, then maybe it's okay.
Yeah, the way I approach that is this, right? Everyone goes, "Oh, you're Filipino, this, and then they're gonna say something after."
Yeah.
In my head, it's the same as going, "Oh, have you had Diet Coke?" I'm like, "Yo, let me show you the real." Like, let me show you some real shit. You know what I mean? Like they always give me like the light version
Oh,
of
right.
what our culture is, right? It's always
Yeah, Joe
it's always
Coy.
adobo,
Yeah.
lumpia, jokoy.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, let me show you soup number 5.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's get down to the nitty.
Yeah.
It's like,
You like
if you
that?
like this, yeah.
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
saying.
There you go.
What?
If you like lumpia, you're going to like soup number 5.
It's such a big jump. I'm telling
That's the
you.
longest jump.
No, but I think our culture has
If you like lumpia, you're gonna like hot dog. Red hot dog.
sandwich. You ever have hot dog and marshmallow? That's 2 things, right?
Salty sweet.
Shoot, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I have both.
Hot dog marshmallow.
You ever heard about kebab? We have one for you.
Kebab?
It's gonna make you tabab.
Tabab?
Tababwakis. Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Dude, I want to do that in the Philippines. I just want to go, huh? Like super loud.
See, man.
Let's see what comes
Yeah.
next. Huh? I want to do it in a cave. Or like shoot that skit where it's like, ha. Hot dog.
Oh my god.
Which brings me to another point, right? I had this interview with a buddy of mine, Trace. He also does some stuff with Kumu, but he said, and I really took it to heart. It said, content creators create the content they wanted as a child,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so we were talking about Easter Sunday, and they're like, "Oh, Joker probably wanted this movie or needed this movie when he was a kid." Right, which explains our comedy style because we all grew up with like Andrew E. and like all the
man.
like Philippine comedy guys, and so our humor is very slapsticky, like with a little bit of heart. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And even like us like growing up on like Rex, it was like
Yeah.
more I feel like out of all the Philippine like FilAm comedians, at least I am aware of.
Yeah.
He's like the most like obviously he's the quintessential one.
OG.
Dude,
But then it's like
Original
the
guy.
first like really the first one where I was like, yo, this is on like a huge level, like having a understanding and awareness of
Yeah.
Yeah.
like being Filipino and
he
Filipino
has to be
culture.
related to me because there's no way.
Yeah, Filipino
knows all
culture
this
and like things that are like funny, but like we didn't realize.
Yeah,
'cause
but
we're
he
so
also
in
has
it.
kind of a chip on his shoulder,
Right.
right? If you notice, like his comedy style is very like, I'm gonna make fun of these things, and it's joking, but it's like very.
It's like he kind of calls it out.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And like has
As
meaning.
opposed to like Joko's comedy style, which is like, he's navigating through being biracial,
Yeah.
right?
Which is another
Mm-hmm.
like no, that's another conversation on its own.
Right,
Right.
But but it's less chip on your shoulder, and it's more. I'm trying to figure out not just each side, but the merge of both,
Right.
right? Or like even the hero's journey of I'm bringing my mom's culture into the United States life that I have,
Right.
yeah, as opposed to Rex, which is just like I'm gonna make fun of the dope stuff in our homes,
Right. Yeah, it is for specific, like actually for Filipinos and Filipino
Right.
Americans.
right?
Because you tell like a white folk or a non-Filipino folk about like the Santo Nino, and you try to explain it to them, it's like
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
quite connect. But then Rex could just go straight into the Santo Nino about
Yeah.
him
And
being
it's
an
like he
action
doesn't
figure.
care.
Yeah,
like he
it's
doesn't
kung
care,
fu,
which is dope. Yeah,
Kung Fu
I think that's one of my favorite sets that he has.
dude.
so good.
Yeah. And like as he's crying, just like this is the Santo Nino.
Gonna die for your sins.
Because we're also all that kid like being forced to do like show
We're
and
still
tell,
that kid.
but like
yeah,
crying
all the time, Yeah.
Yeah,
because prior to that moment, just
Yeah.
our parents yelling at us, "Why didn't you learn? Here's the script!" Just like yelling at us for like whatever reason.
dude, I also the rice bag one, where he's like carrying rice for his grocery store.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Where's your car?" Right there, next to my house. Classic. But yeah, any more kind of thoughts on the accent, right? Like I just don't like it when it's not done properly.
Right.
What here's a good thing about the accent. There's bad we discussed all the bad stuff,
Right.
and all the Hollywood stuff, and here's a good thing about the accent. Because it's used for connection, I've used it to connect with my elders much more easily.
Yeah. Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are your experiences with that? Because I know for myself, I go, "Oh, Lola, do you want a Coke? What? A Coke?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's like you said, they're used to hearing in the accent,
Yeah.
right? Because their brain works in Tagalog,
Right.
and if they have to navigate English, they're not gonna go all the way to English when they're
Right.
halfway.
Yeah.
Diagram.
There's
Right.
inside the
JC.
JCB diagram.
Diagram.
Yeah. So, what are your experiences with that?
I'm pretty much the same way, actually. Especially when I go to like the Philippines. I actually was pretty fluent in Tagalog when I was like 5 and 9. I know it's like
Just
But-
5.
Yeah.
Just 9.
Happy birthday! Whoa.
Whoa.
What is this
Guys.
English language?
What is this, Ponce? Lumpia?
Adobo.
Adobo, bro?
This peanut bed is great. Bet.
Oh, bet. Snacks.
Ang sarap sarap.
Syrup. 10 bogey points, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kuya Chad.
Good chat, bro. But
Shout
yeah,
out to
like-
Travis Kraft. Akaposi Travis Kraft.
Stumpy?
Yeah, seriously. Oh yeah, so
Where's the Stumpy? Behind me.
but yeah, so like I do catch myself in the Philippines when I'm talking to my like elders or my lolo or even my aunts and uncles. It's just so much easier to to just have even communicate,
Yeah.
have a
Oh,
real
sample.
conversation.
Sample.
Man, like You're like, oh, hey, Tita, how was your trip to the USA or
Huh?
something? Tita,
Ah.
how's your trip
Oh.
to America?
Oh, the
Sa-
States.
sa States.
Sa States.
Sa States.
Sa abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I get that. I've been 9. Just like,
Yeah.
why was there such a stopgap?
Hard stop. Hard stop. Hard start. Hard stop again.
You're 9 years old. Ano?
Just for those 2
Anong
weeks.
sinabi mo?
Huwag ka dyan.
Uh,
Yo, what if your accent starts and stop? You're fluent in. You can only speak the one language, but it's based on.
Years.
No, it's based on how they sing "Happy Birthday" to you that year.
If it's happy birthday instead of
No, it's-
happy
No,
birthday.
it's a "Happy Birthday, dear Paul," or it's "Happy Birthday." Like they don't fuck with your name at all.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
And then they have to harmonize at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, and slowing it
Yeah.
down to you.
Nice.
How would that go? Would you be primarily Filipino or primarily?
I just pick whoever I invited to my birthday. I'm not gonna go home. Only my friends.
Don't sing.
Yeah.
I have an interview tomorrow.
It's for this part in a TV series.
I'm going home, guys. I'm auditioning for Easter Sunday. But yeah, anything else on the whole accent?
Yeah. Sometimes it helps. It doesn't come across with Filipinos I don't know because it's like I'm not Filipino presenting. So it's like if I'm like trying to get by some like middle-aged titas, like excuse me po, excuse me po.
They would be like,
Well, usually they're like behind, so then they'll hear. Because if I just say excuse me, like they won't hear. But
Yeah.
oh, excuse me po, and then like it cuts.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, sige po, and then
sorry, kuya.
how do you approach a group of elders, and what is your reaction?
Well,
Like, what is their inner monologue when looking at you?
their inner monologue when,
Yeah.
when looking at me.
oh, she has a beard.
Yeah.
Beard. Mine is, who's this giant?
Ano ba yun si Andre, the giant?
You're a gargantuan.
Damn.
Like it's the big words, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or in the case of my friend's dad, is that Osama bin Laden? How come you look like Osama bin Laden? I hate Tito Lito.
He probably listens.
I hope so. Huh? B-plot?
That son of a bitch.
They have apple.
What is your favorite thing to say in the accent? Top three things to say in the accent.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. That's a good one. Mine is peanuts and spinach. I'm like, you have spinach batter?
Peanut sandwich?
Spinach batter?
Spinach sandwich?
Peanuts omelet?
I don't know. I like saying pizza pie a lot,
Dude.
bro.
Yeah.
Don't use that at all.
That's a good one.
I don't use it in context, but I just like
Yeah.
it.
Dude, yeah, my cousins and I always just, oh yeah, pizza pie. You want
I
some
love
pizza? Andre,
swearing.
you want some pizza pie? Gusto mong
I
pizza
love
pie?
swearing in Tagalog.
Oh, it's so easy.
Solitaire Caesars?
You can have that. I'm allergic to peanuts.
Spinats.
Peanuts batter. What else? What is just the funniest thing to use the accent for? Do you use it against white people? Like, I don't understand English.
Well,
Oh, that's so fun to me.
I
Doesn't work
always
for
say
me.
like, walang hiyang puting taon.
It
Like
is-
walang hiya. Like I always
Yeah.
like saying that.
Sino bata nito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it for this week. If you want to see any of our past episodes, check them out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it. And also, check out our Facebook fan page, Pandesoul.
Ooh, pan page.
It's for the future.
Facebook Pandesoul
Have not
page.
made yet.
Oh, okay.
In progress.
Don't say that.
Still loading.
Cut it out.
I have a week.
O sige na, Pandeez.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Pandesoul.
And check out previous episodes on Spotify and YouTube. We also go live here on Kumu every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. PDT and Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Philippines time.
Thanks for laughing, and join us next week because there's enough Pandesoul to go around.
And don't forget your baon!